As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them right in their face and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. What up, Doe, and welcome back after a little break for us to another episode of the Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets touched by a horse in a very appropriate, ethereal, out in the, like I said, the ether kind of way, in a prophecy, in a vision at the end of the 2023-2024 season, joined as always by another man touched by the same horse in a similar vision at the same time. My co-prof, my co-host with the most out on the West Coast.
I'm Mickey Jacobs. So glad to be here with you, Harry. How the hell are you, my guy?
Bro, I'm doing pretty good. The weather has gone from the 90s to the 70s, and I'm loving it.
Jealous. It's the weather app says 95. My car says 104. I'm baking in the valley, my guy. It's
oh my
hot.
God, you're sizzling.
Hot.
The grease just popping off you.
It really is.
Yeah, really I used to tell a joke out in LA about the heat. I used to say like it was so hot that I heard the ice cream truck through my window, and I ran outside in the middle of the street and I let it hit me and kill me. That's how the bit went.
Just pull me out of my misery,
yeah,
dude.
I'm not a heat guy. Like I'm really not all that about. The only thing I like about the heat is I can get in the cold water. Get me in there. You know me, icy boy. You're a spice boy. I'm the ice boy, but not like that kind of ice. Because we're not that kind of podcast.
No.
Always quick to let people know I'm radically left on the show.
And I don't think anybody was confused about it. But,
yeah. We're on blue sky. What can I say, bro? But we're here. We're joined. We got Pistons kind of news, not really news, but we're here to talk about the team.
There's rumblings. We got rumblings. We're gonna make mountains out of molehills here. We gotta stretch it into something.
Mountains out of Malik Hills, as it is. Let's get into what it's all about. What we started out. We were going to talk about this last week, and we're here to talk about it this week. Also, did I ask you how you were, real quick?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I was a little under the weather. Feel good. Feel great.
Sound great. Look great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rocking the hat.
Thank you for saying that. Oh, you know what? I gotta say, I rocked this hat to the deli today. Got some meats, and the meat man, who's usually pretty cold, saw my hat, and we struck up a conversation. He's a Lakers fan, but respects the rivalry, respects the game, and I won him over with vintage Piston swag. So let this be a lesson to you all. Rock your Piston swag out and about, whether you're in Michigan or not. It opens doors. I'm not saying he gave me a discount on that turkey, on that sliced turkey lunch meat, but I got more of a smile than I usually do.
Okay, so. You didn't get that pastrami for the price of the turkey?
I did not.
Did you get that pastrami?
I don't usually get deli pastrami, but I usually do turkey lunch meat. Then I maybe get they have really good prices on these steaks called Denver steaks. So every so often I'll get one. Like half a pound was like $7. Ooh. And these are like good little steaks. And then
home country road steaks, right? The John Denver steak.
Hell yeah, JD. But then we've been eating. Ann and I have been eating these. I'm a spice boy. Hot Italian sausages, dude. Throwing them on the grill. They're freaking good.
Grill.
But this is. But we're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about my meat. We're here to talk about. The Pistons and Malik Beasley.
Beasley meeting with his landlord, paying that bill. So he's in there.
He paid off the barber. Did he pay off the dentist? He's wiping the slate clean. He's breaking even.
He's making it rain on all his debt collectors.
There you go.
which is good for him. We got a report from Shams a couple of weeks ago that he was no longer the target of an investigation, and everyone was like, "Oh snap! Free agents back!
We're so back."
But he's still apparently the subject of an investigation, so we don't know where we stand.
Roller coaster, man.
It's wild with him at this point, and like I don't know if he's coming back to Detroit because like he's got a lot of options. He was when he first got announced he was no longer the target. I peeped the Snapchat, and on Snapchat he was wearing like the barber's bib and it had like all the NBA teams on it. He's like, "Where should I go?" And it's like, okay, so maybe not Detroit. Who knows about that? But let's talk. Let's pretend like he has been cleared completely and somebody's going to sign him. Malik Beasley is still in a little bit of financial trouble, you could say. Still owes a little bit of money. Still wants to make as much money as possible after this previously historic season in the NBA. Mickey, if you were Malik Beasley and you had the ability to sign like the vet min or whatever for like $5 million with most teams, $7 million with the Pistons, or just try to get paid more by Brooklyn, I guess, who just saved a ton of money by signing Cam Thomas to the qualifying offer of $6 million. What would you do if you were in those teal Threesley 1 of 11 shoes?
So you brought up Brooklyn, and that's interesting because like they can pay him. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot to be said, as we've learned, for having young teams having veteran spacers. But spacing isn't really, I mean, for whatever Brooklyn's doing, like they've got shooters. Like they've got Michael Porter Jr., they've got Cam Thomas. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like whereas like, you know, like a team like Washington, like they need spacers to like help these young, like how the Pistons didn't have spacers, like reliable vet spacers to help them grow. And it really stagnated their development. Long story short, I do think he should come back to Detroit if the door is open to him, because I don't think anyone's going to give him the kind of looks that Cade's going to get him. Even though we've added more talent like Karras and Duncan, injuries happen. And the Pistons are going to need spacers. Duncan can't be the only one. And like, he's like the only pure shooter. I think that this is the best situation for him to either like stay and grow with the team or just build his value back up, because he just had a historic season getting looks from, you know, what I think is the greatest lead guard in the Eastern Conference. What do you think, Harry?
I'm going to keep pushing questions to you before I answer this, because you essentially say you think you should stay here. Do you think then, first of all, do you think he'd accept the role, which is a lesser role? There's no doubt it's a lesser role at this point because you filled his vacancy, and like it's just not going to be the same, especially with Duncan and with Karras there and with Ivy back. Maybe with like some more Ron Holland, because who knows if Ron's gonna be playing too, for like where he's gonna be overall. Also with Ron wearing his jersey number in there as well.
That's a factor, by the way. Mm-hmm. That is his thing is like MB5. You know?
He's MB5 is gonna NB5, not gonna be 5.
NB5.
But outside of just the role, let's say he's like, okay, I'm down with the role, and you're Malik Beasley. Do you say, but I'm going to do a 1-year prove it deal at that $7 million, or are you going to try to get as much money right now as possible? Go for like that whole, like 3 for 21, 4 for 28, or like a 2 for 14 deal?
I think it's a 1-year prove it deal because, as you said, they brought in talent. I don't know that they, you know, just short of Duncan, like there's not another volume shooter that does what he does on the squad right now. But the Pistons are changing. Like you've got young guys growing into roles. Like they were great. It was a great spot for him last year. I think it could still be a good spot for him this year. But I think this is like a way to boost up your value and then see what you can get elsewhere. So clearly he was about to make like what, 14 mil a year for the Pistons.
Yeah, I think like 14 mil or like 13.3.
So
3.9.
ostensibly, like he thinks he's worth that. I think he probably is worth at least more than 7 a year. So I think that this is like last year wasn't a flash in the pan. It wasn't a fluke. I'm that guy. I am like I can put up like Curry numbers. Any team would love to have me, and I would rather go make as much money elsewhere. So I don't think he would lock himself into a multi-year deal earning less than he thinks he's worth.
Okay, so to use a pretty inappropriate term in the circumstance, if you're Malik Beasley, you would bet on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Here's my perspective. And this is not if I'm Malik Beasley. This is if I'm advising Malik Beasley, because I think he has the same attitude. He's like, yo, I'm that man. I can do this. Look what I did last year. I'm gonna get that money. And the money that I'm being offered right now ain't my value. My counterpoint is the chance of him replicating the production from last season is so low. Like so low. On the Pistons, it's so low because he shot lights out and he had that defined 6-man role, which he does not have if he comes back to the Pistons this year, unless someone gets injured. So the chance of him replicating that in Detroit are tough. The chance of him replicating that almost anywhere else, if you look historically for him, he's played on 6 different teams. Detroit is the only one he had that level of success. He made 60 more threes with Detroit than he did in any other season. And I think it was like 90 more than his like third most season. So yes, he's great. And yes, he could find the right circumstance, but he has it in other places. And I don't know who's going to be able to generate the type of open looks or like picked looks that he got, that Cade Cunningham was able to get him anywhere in the NBA. I know people, like 2 teams looking at him are the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. You think Jalen Brunson's going to get him the ball like that? No. Do you think that Donovan Mitchell is going to get him the ball like that? No.
And so much of, he was just such a big part of our transition offense.
Yes.
Like it was, but that was so specific to the Pistons, where like Asar gets a stop, pushes it, who stops on the wing, Malik for like a timeout causing 3-pointer, like
with a shimmy, right? Like,
yeah, no, it was a big part of the culture. It was a big, you expected it, you knew, like, so yeah, I know the minutes are diminishing for him, but I still think like, plus like the fan base would accept him back with open arms.
Yes.
Like, and as you said, like he hasn't done it elsewhere. Like he's shot well, but like, don't ask Lakers fans what they think of Malik Beasley. I don't know what the Bucks take is, but he's not like, they don't feel how Pistons fans feel about Malik Beasley.
Here's the proof of that. What did Malik Beasley get paid last year when he came to the Pistons?
Was it like 6?
It was $6 million at the end of free agency. That was with his whole career behind him. Yeah. Do you really think that this one season was the turning point and that it's going to be like that everywhere else he goes? It might be, but if I need money and I'm getting this offer from Detroit of like 7 for 4 or whatever, 28 guaranteed at this point, I'm thinking about taking it, because maybe you can get more money the next season, but like, it's not like people are getting paid all that much. And like, they're clearly not paying guys like Cam Thomas. They're clearly not paying guys like Norm Powell. Those guys are getting traded all over the place. He didn't get paid before this. Like, do you want the longevity with a good team that you have a specific role in, and your role could be much bigger the next year after? So here's maybe what I would consider if I was him. Maybe a 2-year deal, right? Like take 2 years, 14 mil, see what this Duncan Robinson in Detroit situation winds up in. And then if it works out with you in Detroit and things are going really well, then you can keep staying there because you're such a mainstay here. Plus it's just longevity and like familiarity with this place that loves you, appreciates you, and cares about what you do, and with these young guys that you've connected with so much. This was the first place that he has been considered like a leader, right? Anywhere. That's tough to come by. Like his mom lives here too. There's so many factors that if I'm Malik Beasley, it's tough for me to say, I don't know if I'm going to make this much money, but if you're guaranteed that much money and you have debts to pay and you're in a good situation with a team that could take you to the championship, because I don't think this is a shocker. I think Detroit is a title contending team. If like some of the growth happens, especially like if Ron gets a little bit better, if Sarr gets a little bit better, if Ivy gets the full season in, like it's a title contender. I'm sorry, Boston's on the way out.
Chad, tell me if Harry's tripping right now. Are we title contenders, or is this Homer stuff, or is he spitting right now?
Even like people love the idea of like the Magic. We don't quite know what that's going to look like yet, and it's not like their offense has been proven to be. The offense has been terrible, and yeah, they've made some fixes, but let's see how it works. And with Atlanta, people love Atlanta's roster. Atlanta's roster's so good. It's so good that the front office of Atlanta isn't committed to Trae Young yet. You know what I mean? It's so good that it entirely hinges on Kristaps Porzingis' health. Like, there is plenty of room for Detroit to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, to the championship. And in the West, it's a straight bloodbath as far as like those teams go. And I think Detroit can go toe to toe with any of them, especially when we're talking about youth. We're talking about like defensive intensity. We're talking about having two of the best defenders in the NBA, one of the best guards in the NBA, one of the best players in the NBA, the best lob threat in the NBA. If you have Duncan Robinson and Malik Beasley draining threes, you have floor spacing, you have rebounding, you have defense, you have playmaking, you have transition, you have youth, you now have playoff experience, you have continuity with Trajan Langdon. It's not a bad place to be.
You know what? He said, too, that he's never had more fun coming to work than he did for the Pistons. And I don't think that's just lip service. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but to be clear, this wasn't just a like, turn down the money, like go with your heart. Like, I think that this is a long-term money play, whether it's in Detroit or not. I think like having another strong year in Detroit is the best way to up his value. And to your point of like, let's see how the Duncan Robinson thing goes. There's a lot of like misunderstanding around the Duncan Robinson deal. I believe the second year isn't even fully guaranteed. And the third year, right. And the third year is a team option. So people hear like, 339, and they're like, overpay. What? Like Duncan's washed. And it's like, first of all, we'll see. And second of all, like that's way more flexible than it may seem at a glance. And so like, it's not to say there's not a role for Malik just because we signed Duncan. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley coexisted. And yeah, the Cam Thomas thing is interesting too, because I think elsewhere, as has happened with Malik, you can get lost in the shuffle as kind of like a one-dimensional player. Like, and by the way, unbelievable lights out shooter. That's his thing. Yeah, that is his thing. He's not a two-way guy. Like he's good for some steals and he plays hard. He played hard in Detroit, but like it's real easy. Norm Powell's a really good player, but it's just like what's being valued right now. Like talent is crazy. Like
I want to shout out Trevor Browning too, saying spitting time to win 3 straight. LF go, right?
LF go.
LF go. It's and like I also like if anyone's saying Duncan Robinson's washed, his stat line's insane. Like his shooting stats are crazy. So like
prolific.
Let's see how that all works out. So maybe the move for Malik then is sign that 1-year deal with Detroit, because your chances of chasing the title with Detroit, Cleveland, New York, it's all pretty similar. It really is all pretty similar.
When he knows they were ready to pay him like $14 a year. Like, so like you don't know anyone else is willing to do that. Like,
right. Take this deal, maybe take 1-year deal in Detroit, see how it goes. And if Detroit wants to bring you back after that, that's great. Like all that stuff can work out really well. It's really just going to come down to like where he thinks he's going to get the most opportunity. And I hope as a Pistons fan who likes Malik Beasley, like I like him on this team. I think he's a lot of fun. I think he's a valuable asset, and the more shooting, the better. If your shooting is, let's say, improved Ivy, along with Duncan Robinson, Malik Beasley, Chaz Lanier, like also in tow, that's what his thing is. That's not bad for Cade. That's not bad for Ivy. That's not bad for Asar. That's not bad for Ron. So it's not bad for Karras. It's really not bad for anybody. Have depth at shooting. That's pretty solid. So if I'm Malik, I mean, granted, we are homers. There's no doubt about it. I just think if you're Malik, you have proof that this has been the best situation for you throughout your entire career. This has been the best place for you to be, both fun-wise and production-wise. They're still talking to you. Minnesota's apparently talking to him too. Why rock the boat, especially when they can pay you more than anybody but Brooklyn can? Like, take the most money you can right now, do it for 1 year, do it for fucking 4 years. I don't care, but like, make yourself a home. I'm just worried that if he takes a 1 year deal because the production will slip, people will feel like, oh, that 1 year in Detroit was like an anomaly.
We'll see. I mean, it's a hard thing to replicate no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's even harder when you have to like start from zero in terms of chemistry and rapport and vibes,
Yeah, this late in the offseason on top of that too, right? Like,
yeah, we don't know. And by the way, like Minnesota, like they need more point guards. Like they need more, like, I don't know if they need, like, they've got Dante, and I know like injuries happen and stuff, but like
he's a shooting guard or combo guard.
Yeah.
Right? They have Mike Conley, or ye old Mike Conley,
right?
If you will.
It's getting up there a little long in the tooth.
They got what's the Rob Dillingham? They got Rob Dillingham as well.
Dilly baby, yeah.
So,
but
like,
I mean, he's like a little bit of a question mark. Like, we'll see. I mean, he could be good, but
he could be good.
He's young.
He's young and he is itty bitty. So who knows how it's all gonna go? I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm curious to see how it plays out. But another part of the reason that I'd be great with Detroit signing him to that roster spot is because your boy, the guy that you wanted to have Detroit sign, did not sign with the Pistons. In fact, he did not sign with a single NBA team. Mickey, tell me all about it.
We, Harry and I were talking off air, as we often do, and we were talking about certain players, and we were actually talking about the Sacramento Kings, and sickos over here. But we were like, oh yeah, Trey Lyles. Like you mentioned, they lost him, and I was like, oh, where did Trey Lyles end up? I don't remember hearing him sign somewhere. You didn't even know this when you said it. I don't think he signed. I think today. Or it was announced
3 hours ago.
Like, as we were talking, it was announced that he is supposed to sign with Real Madrid, out of the league. I am so sad because that means. And look, I'm not like, I don't want to sound crazy. I don't think that like Trey Lyles like makes or breaks this team, but I just think that is like such shoring up the bench with spacing for not defensive liability depth that like we needed. I think we needed it. Like, I don't really want Ron to have to play the four. I know it's positionless basketball. I know he's like 6'8" and he's going to fill out more, but I would have liked a Trey Lyles or like a Dorian Finney-Smith, but Trey Lyles specifically, like, and like get the bag, Trey Lyles, Pistons legend, like enjoy the weather, enjoy España. But bummer, man. I wanted him, and it sounds like he was gettable. And like, I don't know if we're saving that roster slot for a deadline trade. I don't know if we're going to try and get Beasley if he beats the allegations. But that was a real kick in the pants, man. I did not like that. How are you processing the news?
You know, I was never like super high on them getting Trey Lyles. Like, no shade to Trey Lyles. I think he's a fine player, and I actually do think he would have helped this team. But I don't think the backup four position is that important nor dire the way that this team rotates wings. I just don't. I don't think it's a huge issue, and we gotta get Ron minutes wherever we can. He needs to be getting 20 minutes a game.
I want Ron getting 20 minutes a game, but I'm keeping this receipt. If our bench is struggling against other benches bigs, keep it.
You and the rest of Reddit.
I'm keeping that receipt. And we will, because we are the worst. We are the absolute worst. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But
Warren G.
Yeah. Side note, that song is hilarious because it's Warren G rapping about how big a bitch he is, and Nate Dogg rapping about how he's helping him out nonstop, getting all the ladies having all this game. It's a very funny song for Warren G to take part in, especially for a very famous song.
Have you seen Young Guns?
No.
So there's this 80s movie like with like every hot young male actor of the day. It's got like Estevez and like the whole gang, and that's I think what that sample is from. When it's like, you got to be good with the you can't just be some geek off the street. Yeah. That's what it's from. And Ann and I watched Young Guns, and it's pretty trippy and it's pretty funny, and it's a good like 80s, early 90s. I think it's late 80s movie.
I love 80s,
but it rocks. It's like a full on 80s Western. It's great. But yeah, banger song, banger movie. Yeah, it can't just be some geek off. But no, I'm all for the ascension of Ron Holland the second.
I want those Ron minutes. I want those Ron numbers way up. I want the Ron exposure, the exposure.
Yeah,
of Ron
yeah, man.
Holland, because you and I were talking. I know this is gonna be like a little bit of a tangent. I'll hint at it. First thing I want to say about Trey Lyles is like, if you were offered more money, a bigger role, and the opportunity to not live in the United States of America right now, I think it'd be very hard to turn down. But that's just me. And as far as the Ron minutes go, you and I talked a little bit about this off stream. And chat, I'm curious what you think about this. Is it cool to bring this up?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I am eager to see the Ron versus Ivy ascension competition, because when I'm looking at like contracts and like the future of this team, I think that might be what Trajan Langdon's looking for right now, is like, okay, if Ron's not the 4, is he potentially a 2? And if he's shooting that well, could we replace Ivy with that? Or if Ivy's playing really well, then do we have to force Ron into the 4 and have him play backup, and he's not going to make that much money? I want to see them push each other, and I'm curious how it'll go. And the only way that this competition is going to happen is if they're both getting significant minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see that. I do think Ron gets like a minimum of 20 minutes a game this season. Like, I think he's earned that. I think like the flashes we've seen in summer league so far are really exciting. It sounds like he's been in the gym with Vincent. Yeah, I think that shot coming around forces a huge amount of competition if that's real. But I mean, again, like we're talking about him, like, and look, chat, tell me if I need to just like chill out and be like, it's positionless basketball. I don't know if Ron can guard like Pascal Siakam. You know, like
he's one of the best 4s in the league. Like,
I know, but I'm just talking about lineups and I'm talking about size, and I'm not saying like Trey Lyles is going to stop Pascal Siakam. Like, look, we're going to want Stu guarding the other team's best big anyway. Right. Like that's our big stopper. But I just wonder like size outside of height, because Ron is scrawny at the moment. Like even with the extra 20 lbs, like we're talking about him replacing Ivy at the 2, which would be so sick to have a 6'8" 2 guard. But like I'm just wondering, like we were talking about the Pacers who have Obi Toppin and Jarris Walker coming off their bench. Can Ron guard those dudes? I don't know. Maybe.
I think he can. I think very much he can.
I'm just asking questions.
You can ask the questions. I know you can have the questions. I can have the faith. I have the faith of Hooper infused in me. I have a fiery red and blue mane that you can't see, but it's in my brain.
I see it.
You can see it.
I see it
because you were touched by the horse as well.
Yeah,
just billowing in the chat.
It's handsy horse, hoovsy horse,
hoovsy horse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm all hand or hooves, all hooves. Trevor Browning says, obviously it was only summer league, but Ron was an entirely different tier compared to nearly everybody else. I think he definitely really starts putting it all together this season, and that's what we're saying. Like, if that happens and you're like, oh, okay, he's the 2, then your starting backcourt is Cade 6'6", Ron 6'8", and Asar 6'6", plays like a 7-foot monster. That could be nuts. Or if he's your 4, that's not so bad either. If he puts on a couple more pounds and like is able to do that, like one way or another, I would love to see him be a starter. And I'm curious to see how that ends up. But Ron has been the biggest surprise player the Pistons have drafted as far as my expectation to when they were drafted to where they are at right now.
Same. I'm very Ron pilled, and I knew nothing about him going in really, and he's just such a fun player to watch. And even, like sometimes he gets in foul trouble or like doesn't make the best decisions. He is like, his energy is always at 100. And like, it reminds me, like, I'm not saying he's a similar player to like Ben Wallace, but just in terms of like fun players to watch where you're like, something cool is going to happen. Like he's active. Like you don't like really see him just like standing around watching. So I'm really excited to see him rise. And if he can be, if your starting backcourt is like 6'7" and 6'8", like that's stupid. And like
with two of them defensively being Ron and Asar.
Right. And like, is there a version where like maybe if Jaden Ivey's playing well, like not in a knock to him, still getting starter minutes as your sixth man off the bench? We were talking about this, and maybe the question just comes down to money. Because
exactly. So if he's the sixth man, would you be okay paying him $25 million a year?
Say what's the number?
If Ivey was sixth man, would you be okay paying him $25 million a year?
Oof.
You think that's too much? You think that's too much for a sixth man?
I don't think it is. Okay. I don't. Well, how much was Malik Monk making like around that money?
I think he's making like 20 million a year or something.
20, yeah, like 20 to 25. Like that's not bad. And like, by the way, if like you're playing six man, but like that's just a embarrassment of riches thing where it's just like, yeah, you're playing six man, just it's a lineup thing. It's not a you're not good enough thing to like. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, I mean we're gonna see that.
And I was leading you is because that's just recently what PJ Washington signed, a 4-year deal, roughly 22.5, going up to $25 million a year. And he's going to be coming off the bench for that front court. I don't think he's technically sixth man on that team. But you told me you thought that was a good deal. And I was like, I think this is a lot of money to be paying somebody to be coming off the bench.
Yeah, but I think like PJ Washington is like at least sixth man good. Like I do. Like I think PJ Washington could start on any number of teams. On any number of Pistons among them. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a tradable contract, by the way. But no, I know he's not that big in terms of height, but I think he plays bigger than he is. I think he's a two-way guy. I think he's got some fire that you may not be a huge fan of. But it's Pistons-esque. I think like I also have to like wrap my head around the CBA, and just like realize that like $25 million isn't as much as it seems like.
But it could be though if you're paying Cade $60 million a year. JI $25 million a year.
This is going to be a real. This is going to be a real
$25 million.
Like, right.
$27 million.
I think Ivy's like the biggest, like both because. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just, and then whatever Ron's going to get paid. Like I'm just listing off all these numbers, and we're already like eclipsing 150, which is pretty damn close to what the CBA is at.
Look, I think Asar, you want to get on as long a deal as possible, as early as possible, because with the blood clots and everything, like I don't really think he's begun to show his true potential, and like I think he's a long-term fixture. And even if you decide to change your mind about that, you'd get him on a very movable contract. But Ivy, I think, is in the most like prove it zone. Not saying he's not a good player already, but just in terms of like the fit with these guys, the defensive identity, and you're in a contract year.
Yeah. Make it so the Pistons have to sign you. Essentially, that's
really shut me up last year because I was like, I don't know if I was not saying I doubted him, but I was definitely in the like, I don't know if the fit is like seamless with Cade, and he was playing really well. Yeah. He was playing really well when he went out. So, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
And regarding that PJ Washington deal, that's still a tradable deal for them. Should they decide to. And so to bring it back to the Pistons with all that, I think Pistons wise, that they did not have their eyes on Trey Lyles. I think that they were like, okay, this last roster spot is either going to be Malik Beasley, or we're going to keep it open and use our trade exception that we have to use this year if we're going to get value out of it, and fill that last roster spot with it.
I think you're right. We're going to see. And, you guys are going to see too. And if you like what you're hearing and watching, please show it by hitting the button specifically designed for liking things. And there's another button, I think, where you can ring the bell and find out whenever we're doing stuff like this. Because, with the exception of last week, we're doing it every week. We're pretty consistent these days. We're having fun. Hope you're having fun. Trevor, history, we love
shout out history.
Shout out history in the waiting room, baby, before we even hopped on. So, yeah, tell a friend. We're trying to break triple digits.
We're at 90. We're so close. Nightbot is awfully flirty. I will admit some of the prompts from Nightbot are just like inviting you on over. Come on inside. Exactly, Mikey. Raise them brows.
Well, come hither, bot. Yeah.
Oh, and Mickey, just because, we talk about Charles Dickens a fair share. I was thinking about Charles Dickens earlier today. This is not related to the NBA at all, but I was thinking about Nicholas Nickleby, and I was like, I wish there had been an MC named Nicholas Nickelbag. That would have been such a fucking dope rap name.
That would have been good. Yeah.
So if you're
spin versus and Molly MDMA.
Oh man. So we just have to go a little lit. We got to get lit with you. Make this podcast lit.
Right after we plug the pot. Yeah. drop some lit on your ass.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the Pistons, the contracts, and the players, and all that jazz. Let's talk a little bit, because we're talking about like all these young all-stars like Cade Cunningham, potentially Jaden Ivey, potentially Ron Holland, potentially Asar. Like, who knows as far as like all-stars go. The announcement came out today that they've been flirting a little bit with all-star game format, and it sounds like one thing is for sure, that is going to be the U.S. against the world in the all-star game. Now, the other end of that is like there's reports that they're looking at doing a round robin with 3 teams competing for this, which is not dissimilar from what it was last year, right?
So I'm ignorant. How does that work in terms of like, because U.S. versus international, like that's 2 teams. What is the third team, like the young guns, like how it was last season?
That's exactly what it was last season, right? It was like the oldest.
Well, there were 4, right? There were 4.
I thought it was 3.
Were there 3 teams?
Maybe it was 4. G League. There was G League was the other one.
Right, the like young guns. Like it was like the younger start, which like I don't mean to like jump in and like cut you off, but like there's something so awesome about, like, to me, the most appealing part, and this is what like people have said for years, is like if you do Team USA and international, there's like actual like pride on the line and like incentive to win. But when you start throwing in these like miscellaneous teams, it's all like, okay, well, those teams aren't going to win. Like you're not going to get like an upset from like that's why it was so lame to see like Cade like kind of siloed on this like, young hungry team that's like respectfully, like put him in the real all-star game and like just let him come off the bench like normal stuff. Like, yeah, if there's not 2 teams, if it's not like Joker, Luka, like Joel Embiid versus like LeBron, KD, like that's what we want, right? Like, isn't that just like the
world versus father time? Is that what you're saying?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, like, it's interesting.
I'm with you. I think it should be 1 game. And if it's US versus the world, that's great. If it's East versus West and the winner gets home court advantage in the playoffs, that's great, because that is incentive.
When was the last time they did that?
I have no idea, man. Like, it's been so long. Like, I think they're overcomplicating All-Star Weekend. Like, just make it an All-Star game. We'll watch the game, and that'll be fine. And people,
Harry, you simple man. Don't you understand that I need to be able to bet and lose money on as many games as possible? Don't you see what's happening?
Prop bets in the Celebrity All-Star game. Here's Mickey. Let's take a bet right now. How many celebrities in the Celebrity All-Star game will you be familiar with this year?
I would say the over-under is 3. I would say the over-under.
I think for me that's pushing it. To be quite honest, it's,
2.5.
Yeah, it's some wild stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say they're not celebrities. It's to say that I'm
out of touch.
Out of touch. I'm out of time. You're out of touch. I'm out of time. We're quoting 80 songs. That's how you know how dated we are. And not to transition from the All-Star game to another oldies thing, but we have to touch on this subject. The biggest news in the NBA right now surrounds
the
Carbon. It surrounds the Clippers, your second team, Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard. A investigative report by Pablo Torre on his podcast has outed the Pistons, outed the Clippers as potentially having sweetened the deal for Kawhi Leonard's extension by Steve Ballmer investing $300+ million into Aspiration, I believe is the name of the carbon,
the now defunct
bankrupt
company,
company that apparently one of the owners or one of the creators is in jail for scamming people, for defrauding people with this company. And Kawhi Leonard had an LLC with them where he got paid $28 million, with the contract being interesting. The TLDR of the whole thing is the contract says he has to do these things, but he has outs to do all those things if they don't match his beliefs. Like, that's it. And the only way that his contract is terminated is if he is no longer with team, that team being the Los Angeles Clippers. Although I don't think it expressly says that. And apparently it lines up to exactly when Ballmer put in all this money going directly to Kawhi, who has never publicly endorsed Aspiration or anything for them. And also he got paid more than any other celebrity by an extreme amount. So the speculation of the whole thing is that is a Steve Ballmer sweetener from the 6th richest man in the world, a net worth of over 170 billion. The NBA could reopen up their investigation, which they found there was no ill doing at first, or no ill intent as far as that goes, but they could probably look into it at this point. From what I've gathered, if they find that there was this sweetening and this circumvention of the salary cap, they would be fined $4.5 million.
Oh my God, poor Steve.
Poor Steve.
That's tough, man.
That is 0.00002% of his net worth.
You know what was cute was Mark Cuban coming to his defense. I love the solidarity amongst billionaires. We gotta stick together, baby. Yeah. This is absurd. His
if you need any further proof that Mark Cuban is also a scumbag, it's right there. These guys have so much money, like so much money. Why do you need this shit? Why do you have to keep cheating the system? Like, what's going on? And like the one thing about the story is that it could lead to a federal investigation and Steve Ballmer could be in trouble. But let's be real. There's no fucking chance that this judicial system under this administration, with the court system as it is, would ever, even at the court's best, would ever get this guy in trouble. There's no chance.
No. It's going to be a little slap on the wrist. The interesting thing will be if they suspend Kawhi, because isn't that part of the discussion as well? Yeah.
So that would give Kawhi his guaranteed sit out 40
right. Load managed. Yeah. there you go. Oh no.
So it's so wild. If you guys haven't seen that episode of Pablo's podcast, I highly recommend to check out. It's well worth the watch. It's really detailed. He's an incredible investigator, and shout out to him. That's a lot of time and effort put into something that might have been nothing that he was able to.
It's a huge story.
It's incredible, and
it probably happens all over the league, though. Right?
All over the league. You want to speculate anybody else that might have happened to?
You brought up a name that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, not because there's any guarantee, and there's nothing that says that this happened, but we do speculate this happens probably a lot. And if I were to like dig my nose into it a little bit, maybe the first person I check out is on the New York Knicks, someone who took a seemingly insane team-friendly deal, and why someone would do that, because who knows? Just saying.
Friendship. For friendship, you cynic. Because of Villanova.
And I'm not saying it's the case. I'm not saying that it happened. It might not have happened. And I'm not like you didn't even say any names or anything. I'm just saying,
asking questions.
I'm just saying if there were more of it happening, that would be a place I would look out of that whole thing. But it's probably, even if not, all over the place. The money from rich people.
You're, of course, speaking of campaign, right?
You got it. Yeah. That's my campaign. But Mickey and I wanted to play a little game because maybe the Pistons are doing it. Who knows? Maybe the Pistons can pull it off. Tom Gores is not exactly known as the coolest man as far as money goes, and he's clearly willing to let a little coin drop. Yeah, in the legal sense, like he paid Monty Williams a shit ton of money.
And in the prison phone sense.
In the prison phone sense,
the coins drop there as well.
We're gonna play a little game called Sweeten the Pot, which I don't have a graphic for because I was working earlier today, and I also thought of this game.
We don't need it. We don't need
mowing the lawn today.
We don't need it. It was good.
And so in this game, we are going to propose speculative ways Tom Gores could sweeten the pot under the table for some of these players.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll start out because Mickey, I pitched you one already. Yeah. So this is the first way I think that little sweetener could be there. I think Tom Gores with the prison phone system could set up a 1-900 number where all the proceeds go to said players, not like whatever player you're trying to sweeten, their LLC, and all that money is actually just coming directly from the prison charging system.
Okay, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I got a riff on because I was thinking of like fake companies that he could set up that are just like designed to funnel money to our beloved Stones. So, we've got the Dog Pound, right? We've got Ron's Dog Pound Jr. We got I think Asar is a member. We got Stu and Duran. So this is a Dog Pound prison phones company. So, he does them for real prisons. Why not for dogs? And, no one has a hard time believing that that's real. So that's how we can funnel money to specifically the Dog Pound players.
Gotcha. The Dog Pound.
Pups need to make calls too, dude. They need to.
The Arms of the Angel song is playing in the background of the commercial.
Yeah,
Sarah McLachlan's in on it. Get locked in. McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Silent McGlocks, and all she does for the puppers. Here's my next one for you. How about Tom Gores has a little party at his house. He invites you over, and you're a player. You're just watching him hanging out. He offers you. He's like, "Hey, it's a party. I'm going to do some drugs. You have a problem with it?" And he's like, "You know what? I'm a player. I'm not going to do drugs. I can't be seen doing drugs." And he's like, "Okay, let me do drugs." And he snorts his lines of blow through $10,000 bills. $10,000 bills.
Okay.
Takes a snort. Then he says, "Hey, can you get rid of this trash for me?" And he just flicks the trash. He gives them the trash. Take it from him.
Smart.
He's like, "Just take it to the trash, but take it to. I need this thrown away in the year 2029 when your contract is up. That's when you have to get rid of it by."
Clever.
So that would be a way to sweeten it up with a little sugar on the bills.
Speaking of blow, this is a JD snowplow business. It's a seasonal business, and ostensibly, they plow driveways. They do, they salt as well. But really, it's just funneling his nose candy and hooking up the Pistons starting center with drug money.
Okay, drug money is a great way to go. What a story for.
It's on brand. It's Gores, baby.
The Gores Shores way. The JD Plow. I love JD Plow. That's the name. That name again?
A JD Plow.
Yeah. You know how it goes. This is the last one I've got, and I pitched this one to you already. We have you sign with the team. You're on the team. Well, also just like a little promotion for the show. We're gonna do a reality TV baking show, right? And so you got to bake some stuff. You got to be on the show, bake some stuff, show so you can bake. And you're allowed to take whatever. You can take the ingredients afterward because we're just gonna throw all this stuff away anyway. And the bags of sugar are filled with what? Oh shit, that's where I put my extra. Well, you can put cocaine there if you want to sell it. I was just say money. Just put money in those bags.
Oh, sorry. It's all coke to me. It's all I've got. That's all. No, but that's smart. That's smart. That's good. That's good. My last one is another fake business. It's a soup restaurant that only serves beef stew. It exclusively serves beef stew. It's like, you know, there are these like companies that are like, this is obviously fake. Like the one adjacent to me, Battery Hut, where Cade did his little infomercial. You think that's not a front for something? And I'm not trying to blow up their spot because it's a local Burbank business. But the hell's going on there? What the hell?
Do you think that their business has gone up since that Jimmy Kimmel sketch? Have you seen the foot traffic go up?
No. No, I've not. Although I did when I went to take a picture outside of it. They were like, "Do you need anything?" I'm like, "No." No, I'm good. Just like wearing a Pistons hat.
I'm out of here.
I gotta go.
I also want to shout out Trevor Browning again, who says that the NBA is going to make Sterling take the team back over. Yeah. Wouldn't that be just so apropos of America right now?
Trade one controversy for another. I will say though,
uncanceled.
This story is would make for a better mini series than the Don Sterling. That one was not good. I don't know if you watched that, but it was.
I watched it to see what actors played what athletes in personalities, and it was rough. They don't have to make a mini series out of literally everything. Like some stories, it ain't worth it for.
FX does though.
FX
certainly does.
Series. Okay. So that was a pretty fun game. Hopefully, don't look into Gorz's filings too harsh here. And also, like, it's not like the Pistons have attracted anybody. Pistons have paid everybody to come here a pretty good amount of money. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, like, stop being so mean to billionaires. You know, they're people too. They're really sympathetic figures in my mind. I think they get a bad rap. And I hope nothing bad happens to them.
Mickey's clearly been all over my Instagram stories and see what I got to say. All I'm saying is Team Orca all day. That's my black and white issue and stance. Scariest creature on the planet, taking out the scariest person on the planet. So speaking of miniseries and speaking of productions, we have a fresh new movie in our segment of Basketball Movie Club. And this one, who pitched this one? Was this pitched by Ascend?
I think it was. Yeah.
This is the Ascend one. Pitched He Got Game, the Spike Lee joint. And Mickey, before I even asked you what you thought of it, I know I didn't tell you when that got pitched. This movie is one of my favorite all-time movies. Not just one of my favorite basketball movies. I think this is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen, one of the best movies I've ever seen made. I'll get into it. Why? Tell me how you feel about it.
I think it's going to be really hard to beat as we watch these. It was so good. I had never seen it. I absolutely loved it. Kind of from jump. It really like just grabs you and it's like a very like filmmaking movie. Like there are choices being made. There are like fourth wall breaks. There are things it's just so on point. Like it really landed for me. And like it's long and there's some stuff that I like wasn't like crazy about, but like overall absolutely loved it. Like one of the best Spike Lee movies I've ever seen. I don't blame you for it being like one of your favorite all-time movies. I think it's fantastic. Denzel was so good. It may be like the best Denzel movie I've ever seen.
That was the first Denzel Washington movie I ever saw. And I was like, this man is one of the best actors, if not the best actor of all time. Turns out I was right. Like he really is. But like,
yeah, you called it.
My God, he did have game is the fact of the matter. Right.
Certainly did.
This movie was so influential. This movie came out when I was in 7th grade when I made my first basketball team. I watched it because
Rail splitter. He's
Rail, yeah, I was. That was my 18 and up basketball team name with Jake Shuttlesworth's.
That's so dope.
Jersey. Yeah, it was sick. With, of course, the sleeves cut off with the white T-shirt underneath it.
And the brand new Jays.
You know, I went on eBay and bought those Jordans.
Those are sick.
They're fucking nuts. Like, I don't remember what the number they are. 11, maybe. If either 11, I think 11 is correct, but don't quote me on that. I'm not good at the shoe numbers.
Aggregated, quote him. He said they're 11s.
But like, when that movie came out, I had appendicitis, so I couldn't play. I was out for like almost the entire season.
Ooh, painful.
Yeah, that was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. Without a doubt. Ahead of my nose breaking by a considerable amount, and right ahead of the tattoo on my spine. But the appendicitis was horrible, like just straight doubled over. Anyway, back to that. I asked my mom to rent me the movie. She rent me the VHS. I'm watching it in the room by myself, and everything about it hit. Like literally everything about that movie hit for me. Ray Allen is an incredible basketball player. He's a beautiful shot. And like that movie is part of the reason I started wearing overalls with shorts, short overall with wife beater. I was way too short to be wearing that. I actually might bring that back now. I think I'm the right height for that and like build for that now, where I can pull that.
Plus, you're like farming too. I feel like that fits the aesthetic. Like I know that was like, you know, in New York and shit, but like
Coney Island, yeah,
it's versatile.
I could go. I'm going to go to the Value World and get a pair of overalls this week.
Definitely.
I'll rock them on the next pod.
On
the next stream. But like the movie is so, it looks grimy. Like the actual picture, it feels grimy and gritty and dark and dirty, like the whole mood of the movie is. I mean, if you don't know, it's about this renowned talent, high school basketball, coming out when everyone's trying to get a piece of him. His dad is in prison, and his dad gets let out of prison by the warden because the governor is trying to get Jesus, the name of the character, Jesus Shuttlesworth, to commit to was it Big State, I believe. So he's out on a job to try to get him there to get a sentence commuted. I know you're down on some of the performances. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, first of all, I just think the premise is so strong. Like the whole setup is like, and it's just like mired in like corruption.
Yeah. And
like they're talking about commuting his sentence because the governor is like a huge fan of the fictional university that he wants him to go to. And it's just like immediately one of those like, all right, you're like, you've got to pretend like you're reconnecting with your son who hates you, but you really have this ulterior motive. Like it's just really powerful.
He is trying to reconnect with his son a little bit, though. That's like a little bit of the struggle.
Right.
Like,
but it's that thing of like, was this all a bet? You know, or was this all like, you know, you like, yes, you're here for me, but you're right. Like, but that it's such a great riff on that trope and such a like emotional like thing of like, oh, I like, yes, I want to reconnect with my son and I want to get back in his life, but it looks terrible because you're right, everyone wants a piece of him, and it's like you're coming out of the woodwork and jail literally for that reason.
Right. And he's torn because he does want that, but he also wants what's best for his son, right? Yes. Like in this, that's what he's trying to push him for. It was never so like, to watch this movie coming after Hoop Dreams is like so insane, right? Because I mean, how perfect would the coach from Hoop Dreams have been as a character in this movie? Essentially one of those guys, right?
Gene. Yeah.
Gene. That's it. I was like, Gary, what was it? Gene could have been in this movie easy. Like, there's no doubt about with his Chicago accent, as you do. So
you got to make the conference. You got to make the conference.
Everyone's got their hand out. And what I loved about this movie, and you brought it up, is like all the corruption. Spike Lee really did say, hey, I want every single element of this kid's life, this kid's universe, to be tugging at him, to be asking for this thing from him, to be asking of him. And he's really just trying to push forward. And I love the way it was shot. Like, I think so many of the camera angles and like some of the frantic energy in scenes, the basketball playing is like unbelievable in it, like with the slow motion and like actual skill. Watching young Jesus play old Jake, and then watching old Jake play older Jesus at the end. Like both,
those scenes are so intense. And
oh my
dude,
God,
the music is
score,
so incredible. The score is
the
unbelievable.
score of this
It's
movie
like,
it's outrageous how fucking
it is
good
insanely powerful. Yeah,
This-
because there's like, you know, KRS-One and like Public Enemy and all that sort of stuff. But then there's also like classical music.
Yeah. So
And
the score is its own thing. Like just the classical score is its own thing. The soundtrack I have, it was the
Sick.
second album I ever bought. The first like explicit album I ever bought. He Got Game, because the song was so fucking awesome. It really got me into Public Enemy, and shout out Flavor Flav, Detroit man. Like just incredible musical accompaniment in this movie, and it makes you feel things like when he's playing
Really
in
does.
jail and you hear like the high strings and the intensity. Just, oh my God, dude. Jim Brown, I think, is great in this movie. Like the two cops that are like watching go around and whatnot. We already talked about Denzel. There, you can't say much about Denzel that's not phenomenal. This is just like an all-time performance.
It's so good. It's so good. And like, by the way, the intro too is like just a bunch of people hooping, and it's just like you really I forget, is it John Henry or like whatever the score is. But it's just so like, it really touches on like the universal like element of the game, you know, and it just like, there's so many like choices, like when the rail splitters are talking to camera about like what basketball means to them. Like if you haven't seen it,
basketball is just poetry, emotion.
it makes me feel handsome. It makes me feel powerful. When you take a guy left, you take a guy, dude, it is so, it's so like vulnerable.
Jay right in his face.
Right in his face.
And then you look at him.
Yeah.
And then
it's so vulnerable and so real and so like, I believe it. Like, I don't know, some of these things, like you hear them out of context and it might sound cheesy. It really hits. Like it's sincere. Like it's earnest. And I think that's so much, there's not really anything snarky about it. Denzel, and by the way, like I don't think Ray Allen's performance is great, but
let's talk about that.
Because you said I was like down on some of the performances. He was tasked with doing so much. Like when you think about what basketball players are asked to do in movies, it's usually not the heaviest load that they have to carry. This was massive, like way bigger than Penny or Shaq in Blue Chips, or like Michael Jordan in Space Jam, who's basically just like being Mr. Cool. Like there is like, for any actor, this would have been a lot, let alone a non-actor. And so I also think like he's a little stiff. He's a little like uncharismatic. He's playing a high schooler. It works. Is that what you're going to say?
That's what I wanted to say. Like after watching Hoop Dreams, watching those kids and watching them talk to like the camera, and like the more kids I'm exposed to like in the high school world, like just in the universe that I'll run into, or like my friends' kids and stuff like that. This didn't feel like a wooden performance to me. This felt like a real character. This felt like a real person. Like the way he has to be guarded, the way he has to be grown up, can't be that emotional. If it had been a more acty performance, I don't think it would have hit home the same way. I don't think it would have felt.
It's a really good point.
Correct to me. Like with Denzel, yes. Get it all out there, because you're dealing with so much else, and also you're an adult. With Ray Allen, you're a guarded kid who has to have the shield up all the time, who has to be the man all the time, like
under a microscope. Yeah,
that felt so appropriate to me. And I know that it's not like he was trying to pull off this performance. I think it was just phenomenal directing and phenomenal casting by Spike Lee in that moment. I just think it was so good. Like, and speaking of their basketball scene, I saw either this year or last year, Spike Lee talking about their one-on-one game, like the ultimate one-on-one game between the two. And in the script, Denzel was not supposed to score a single time, but Denzel has real pride. So he was like really working on his basketball. And I guess he played like high school basketball in his day. And in the first take, he scored on Ray Allen. Ray Allen's like looking at Spike like, wait, what is this? And Denzel just wouldn't stop. So instead of going with they just went with the actual intensity of the game. The intensity, I'm gonna go around again. Like, man, it's just you feel it. you feel the tension in that scene and the fear in that scene, and like you feel the dynamic between those two the whole way through. It's just real nice, man.
So here's what I found. Apparently Spike Lee wanted AI for the role of Jesus Shuttleworth. He would not audition, and then he offered it to Kobe, but Kobe turned it down. And so it ended up going to Ray Allen. And I don't know that anyone could have done better. I think you make a really good point about like being a guarded high school kid and like having the weight of the world on your shoulders. And like not everybody's like Anthony Edwards, where you just like, you know, like your gigantic personality just like looks great on screen, and like you're not like nervous or anything. Like I think the nerves and the like withdrawn sort of nature of Ray Allen in this movie really works, and he's not just like a cocky motherfucker who's like got the world on a string. But I think that's interesting, like in terms of who Spike wanted and who he got, and just like, you know, there's all sorts of stories like that with casting, not just like with athletes, but just in general of like, oh, blah 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 was supposed to play this role.
Nick Nolte
you're talking about Denzel.
Han Solo, right? Like that sort of thing. Like it could have been what could have been.
Right. So in that opening scene where Denzel is shooting around in the prison yard, I thought his jumper looked a little busted.
Oh, it looks terrible.
He's doing the offhand thing. He's like, because I'm not a hooper, and like I cop to that. I'm not saying I have a good shot, but I'm seeing the both hands, and then he holds the follow through on the one. Like, yeah.
You know what's that? That's Goose.
Right.
To quote the movie. Great. You're right. I agree. Yeah, that's one thing for the movie. I hated. I was like, oh man, that shot's so bad. But I just forgive it because he's not the star. Like he's just another dude. Like you said.
And like, look, some people have unconventional jumpers and it falls. And like Jesus was the one who was like great. Yeah. You know, it's the whole point isn't like Jake could have gone pro. It was just that he pushed his son really fucking hard.
Yeah. Man, I love the part when he was talking about how he named him Jesus after Earl Monroe and not after Jesus.
Awesome.
Like, oh my God.
And the footage of Earl Monroe too. Like, there's so much good footage. And I watched Winning Time, whether you like it or hate it. Like, it's very like mixed media, collage-y kind of, and it borrowed so much from this movie. And I agree with you. Like, I think between the music and the editing and the like cinematography, it's just such a like, you really feel the emotion of it. There were like multiple times where I'm just like, I have chills right now. This is incredible. And like it's like really like Scorsese-ish, you know, with like when Rick Fox is like breaking down, like, you're gonna have temptation, like girls are gonna be throwing themselves at you, and it's just like a montage of sex and like.
Oh, that wasn't Rick Fox. That was
you're right.
That's Big Time or whatever.
No, the Rick Fox thing comes later where he's like, you're gonna have girls throwing themselves at you. But you're right. That's the other montage.
You spell pussy HIV, right? Like,
right.
That seems powerful as hell, right?
It really is, and you get the fear and the temptation, and then Rick Fox comes in and is like telling him about what college is like.
Bro, do you know how disappointed I was when I found out Tech U wasn't a real place?
You're like, that's where I'm going?
Yeah, I was positive. Again, 7th grade when I saw that movie, I was like,
you want to? Can we talk about John Turturro's handle?
Yeah, I actually did want to bring it up. I did want to bring it up. So he goes between the legs, and then he like deeks at him.
Yeah,
I think he was smiling because he actually pulled off the between the legs. I don't think he's got handle. Like, it looks not good, but like there were some
for an old dude just walk doing it mid monologue.
Yeah,
come on.
I'll give it to John Turturro because he's a great actor, like an awesome actor. A great performance.
Little tween walk and talk.
I want to say this about like Rick Fox, John Turturro. We'll pass on Mila for right now because her role is actually bigger than the other roles I'm talking about in this. Like Big Time in this movie, Uncle Bubba as well. Right. And the agent, whatever the agent was.
He's so good. He is so fucking good.
They all played the same way. And I don't mean like they all had like the same energy. The same way I meant is that they don't have a shred of humanity to them. They feel like fiction, like just caricatures of something, right? Like,
yeah,
it's almost like the the devil enticing you in this moment, this vision of a thing trying to get you to do this thing. And I mean, Uncle Bubba, less of a person trying to get you to do a thing, more like a person taking that thing and trying to get you to like join him with him. But like the agent is like, it's so agent, just so crazy agent without like Crazy Rich Agents is his movie, I guess.
But yeah, and like with like an Italian like mafioso kind of bend to it.
Forget about it.
Yeah. It's but like their monologues are all so good, and you can just feel them like hard sell, like pushing. Yeah, he that guy was really good. He like stole the shit out of that scene. Fucking Rosario Dawson killed it, man. She is so good, and she's just like, she's incredible. She rocks. I forget who plays his little sister. She's really good too.
You should see. He's so good right now. when she's playing Burger at video games too, it's like, say it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm getting better. He's like, I'm getting better. I've been working on it.
He's so funny in that movie. He's just like such a pathetic character. It's hilarious.
I love when Dark Denzel comes out. Like you see it, the first time we see it is in the flashback, but then when he accosts Booker,
the fuck out of
like
you.
On the street, you got any money? You got any money? You got any fucking money? Yeah, like it's yeah.
That's when KRS-One comes on, right? Unstoppable. It's
really good, man. He is like not a particularly likable guy.
No, he's in prison. I won't spoil why. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, you have to see the movie.
What? We're not spoiling it. We can't talk about.
He's in prison for manslaughter. I mean, they say it's murder, but it's it's manslaughter, right? Like he pushed his wife. She hit her head on the fridge or stove or sink
counter or whatever it was,
and dies.
It was an accidental thing because she was defending him when he was like being hard on his boy,
essentially beating his boy. Yeah. Right. That, oh my God, when he's drinking, playing basketball with this kid and just like dominating him, like, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. It's just such an uncomfortable scene.
Well, and you've got the friend being like, all right, he's up on him. He's like, tell me how to raise my kid. Like, it is so intense, so good, like so real. Yeah, man, it rocked. Like, I really loved it, and I was like really affected by it. I mean, Hoop Dreams is a documentary. Like, obviously that's super emotional, but this is going to be really tough to beat. Like, I'm not trying to like stop talking about it or anything. I'm just like, I was pretty blown away. Like it feels like big and like theatrical, like a Scorsese movie. I mean, like Spike is a dude like that in his own right. Like, it's just like all the choices and all the like unbelievable editing. And just like so much great footage, and like it's long. It's definitely long. Like I think like some of the Denzel Mila Jovovich stuff. I mean, there's some weird stuff with there where it's like, okay, Denzel, and I'm not trying to like poke holes in a great movie, like, but so he
damn brother.
But no, do it. It's so he is like let out for a week to try and convince his son to go to big state, and but in order to like sell it for some reason, they have to like give him food poisoning. Like, he has to like really seem sick, which is like, this whole thing is like a scam for the governor anyway. I don't know why they have to make it like look believable. Whatever, he gets actually sick. And then these two guards or cops that are like escorting him are like, all right, you can't like do any, and then like pretty much give him carte blanche, and I guess give him money to buy brand new Jordans. I don't know where he gets that. And then he strikes up a relationship with this prostitute staying like sort of in the same
room over.
Yeah. And I mean, but like, you know what? He falls for her. He's been locked up for 6+ years. Like, they strike up a relationship. I think part of it is meant to like humanize him, because he's like pretty rough around the edges a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, I like wasn't nuts about that storyline because it doesn't like really go anywhere. But I think it's just all about like him sort of like figuring out what kind of man he like wants to be, like, now that he's like got a chance at freedom, and just him like acclimating to being out. How did you feel about it?
My interpretation of that is like you have to show him dealing with prison and like the death of his wife and that feeling. So like a romantic or at least sexual relationship is like key. Like that has, when you come out of prison after like 6 years, I imagine sex is like on your mind. You're right next to you're in a bad part of town, but that's where prostitutes are supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So there is that. I think also her storyline mirrors his in that she got herself into a pretty bad situation here. And while she's more of a victim than he is, they're both prisoners in their circumstance. Her being a prisoner in this sexual sex worker with a very abusive
sweetness.
pimp.
Sweetness.
Yeah. That's what I was quoting earlier when I said, damn, brother.
Yeah. Who fancies himself a director, which is kind of an interesting little he's like referencing movies. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's the movie? Vertigo. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. And so she's trapped in the circumstance, and they're both like rough around the edges. I think I said to you off air, it's not like a sex worker with a heart of gold. It's just like a sex worker who's like a real person who's going through something for real. And she doesn't feel worthwhile. She feels worthless. She feels like probably like she's where she belongs or where she deserves to be.
And she says as much. She said, you're right.
Right. And then by the end of she has this relationship with Jake, and he gets her to let down her guard. At the same time, he goes through his like premature ejaculation climax.
By the way, love that scene.
So it's great.
Like so real and vulnerable, and like he's been locked up for 6 years, and it's not like a cool hot sex scene. It's this guy's fucking broken. Like,
right.
This guy's
And I think that breaks her too, because at the end of the movie she leaves. Like she gets out of town. So while he doesn't get his redemption, he helps her see that she's not locked up like he is. There is a way out, and that they both are just humans trying to make up for the decisions they made and to take responsibility and hopefully have served time and to be forgiven, right? Like Jesus says it later in the movie. Do you think God's forgiven you for killing him out? I believe he has. I believe he has. So.
Yeah.
Right. Or I hope he has, right? Yeah. At this point. So I think that's the purpose that she serves. She is the redemption that he does not get in this movie, because plenty of people are trapped in those circumstances. And her character is also like very guarded, very angry, and like, kind of simple, but also that's how she got there, is by being this way. So right. I buy it. I like her character. I'm fine with it. I buy it in the story. I buy that it leads into this seedy underground whole vibe of the thing, and it gives Jake another way to like express his storyline, maybe not directly, but like in a transitive way. And I just kind of dug it, man. I didn't find faults in it. I didn't find faults with their character.
No, it's a really good point. They're very kindred, and I like that take. I think it's just a stellar flick. It's so good.
Can I say one more thing that I really like about this movie?
Please do.
This movie does not have, in your most obvious way, the hero's journey, right? It's not like it's not like person in an unfamiliar place, not sure of themselves. Then they have something to overcome, and they almost get there, but it goes away, and then they do defeat it, and there's a happy ending. This movie it's just like tension and question marks, and you feel it building. You don't even really know who the protagonist of this movie is. Is it Jake? Is it Jesus? Like, who is it? What's going to happen? And then your two potential protagonists, who are also antagonistic with one another, battle. That's what the climax of this movie is this battle. And then what? Then Jake goes back to fucking jail, and Jesus does go to big state. But because he didn't sign the paper, the governor's like, well, I don't really have to commit to this promise.
The system fails. It lied to Denzel.
Straight up, which he said the governor always keeps his promises, fucking doesn't, right? And then the shot at the end where he's like walking up, you think he's going to get shot, and he just like throws the basketball over, and it comes bouncing back into the big stage.
Really cool. Really
God,
cool.
Dude.
Really emotional, really well done. Yeah, man.
I've never seen a movie like it.
Yeah, no, it's super unique and it knows exactly what it's doing. And no, I really, even though like that Mila Jovovich storyline, I've like come around on because you really put it into context for me. And it's really like height of his powers, Spike just abs and like wading in waters that he knows and loves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so good.
But,
and by the way, to your point, like Jesus is not perfect. Like
no,
Jesus is a flawed individual as well. Like it's really like honest and brutal and like real. Like it feels like as big and like theatrical and dramatic as it is sometimes and like choicey, like it just like doesn't feel, it never feels false.
If you're a basketball fan, if you're a film fan,
yes,
you have to see this movie.
Yeah.
It's really a masterpiece. This comparison is going to be like, I don't mean like these movies are similar. This is just for me like a kind of comparing the work of like a renowned director as far as like where it ranks in their stuff. Though I look at it this way, like with Wes Anderson, he made like the Royal Tenenbaums, and that felt like a pretty big wow, this movie's who he is, sort of thing. Or he made, let's say, Bottle Rocket, and like he's really putting a stamp on who he is. And then Rushmore, when Rushmore came out, that movie to me is his magnum opus. Just like that is the most definitive, I think, best, most complete storyline, most acceptable, like just the biggest accomplishment, whether he thinks it is or not. I think that's the biggest accomplishment.
The best distillation of his voice.
Right.
Yeah.
And with Spike, like Do the Right Thing, arguably his best movie. People would say maybe Malcolm X, like in those range. But Do the Right Thing feels a little more raw, the same way Bottle Rocket felt like a little more raw. And like Malcolm X is like a great story. It centers around like, the life of this man, which it is. It's an incredible movie. And that's a little bit like Royal Tenenbaums. Like, wow, this is really well done. But to me, He Got Game has all the breaking of the fourth wall, the taking chances, the visual looks, the insane storyline, the complete universe where everybody is culpable in the problems surrounding this story. And like not a beautiful or not like a perfect ending, a beautiful ending, but not like a completely resolved ending overall. So to me, I just think it's an absolute phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it blew me away. Like again, I really think this is like the one seed if we're making brackets at the end of this thing, which I don't know that we're gonna do. We could, but but hey, like a really good way to find out is to like and subscribe to the podcast.
You're so on it. You're so
Ring
on it.
That bell for notifications. Tell a friend, please.
We just need 10 more here. Just get us 10
more. But the movie rocked. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Next up, we got Eddie.
Yeah, that's right.
A Whoopi Goldberg vehicle set around the Knicks. It sounds like we're gonna have a special guest on. Did we already reveal who that guest is?
No, we didn't reveal the guest. The guest we're bringing back your boy,
Douglas, baby, Doug Burns.
He's going to be back. One of our favorite guests. He's just an incredible dude. Like, shout out to Doug.
He rocks.
He'll have some projects that we're going to like promote for him as well. Talk some Knicks stuff. We won't bring up what we said about one of the players on that team potentially, as far as investigation stuff goes. But we'll talk about Eddie in that movie and have Doug on here next. Trevor Browning says not to take away from He Got Game or Basketball Movie Club, but do you have any thoughts on Rebound, that film about Earl Manigault? I have always thought that was another really solid film. Cheadle was great in it. Have you seen that movie?
I have not, but it sounds like we just got a new one on our slate. This is made in 2005.
I love Don Cheadle too.
Yeah. Wait, am I looking at the right?
I think so.
No, I don't know if I am, because this is like a comedy, a Martin Lawrence comedy. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think this is the Don Cheadle movie. Hold on.
I'm looking it up right now.
Rebound: The Legend of Earl. The Goat Monroe. Manigault. Menego. Thank you.
1996.
Oh no, I've heard about that. Let's add it to the list. Let's do it.
So
It's not the Martin Lawrence vehicle.
No, yeah, it's not. Let's break down how these movies are going to be though. Like next week, we're having on Doug. It's going to be Eddie. The week after that, we're bringing on Mike Benner, who is a Philadelphia 76ers fan. He was also a former writer for King of the Hill. He wrote the movie. I believe it's Kill All Neighbors. Sorry, Mike. You're my good buddy. I know Neighbors is in it. But the movie's great. It's a great horror. It came out. And we're going to be watching a Hustle. That's the movie for that. So the week after Hustle, so in 3 weeks,
got it.
We will watch Rebound, The Legend of Earl the Goat Manigault.
Sounds. I love that, dude. I feel like I'm trying to remember if one of my friends recommended it because I was just talking to my friends about how. No, that was not recommended to me. So this is exciting. This is exciting. We got a new one on the list that I've not even heard of.
Me either. And I know so little about Earl, unless I'm gonna look a little bit up, look a little more into Earl. I did have this book about Rucker Park and like the history there. I'm not entirely positive if Earl is from that area. It looks like he's from somewhere else, but we'll see.
All right.
So we'll find out. But this has been a wonderful show. And Trevor, dude,
thank
you
for rocking with us, man.
The whole way, yo. Number one for a reason. Shout out to Trevor. Follow him on Blue Sky if you're not already. Trevor R. Browning. Let me give you the actual name on there. TrevorBrowning.com. He's a director, producer, writer too. I didn't know that, dude. So talk films with us anytime. Let's see what you got. I'm gonna check out some of your. You know what? Straight up, I will check out your work. I'll go to your webpage a little bit later tonight and peep all that stuff. So, Mick, you got anything before we close this whole thing out?
I don't. I had a great time, and I'm excited for next week. Always glad to tap in with our boy.
Me too, man. I'm always glad to talk to you, even though I talk to you even more than just this podcast. You're one of my good buds. Is anyone who should know?
Isn't it?
Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate it. Looking forward to having you back as well. And for everyone watching, thank you for being here. We'll be back next Thursday again with Doug Lust. Watch an Eddie. Get your hands on it. Go to the library. Support your library if you can get it there. It probably is there. If you're in LA, it's probably there. We'll see if I got it over here. Otherwise, it's going to be torrent season. And we close the show the same way that we do literally every time. And that is by saying the acronym OOBH, because that's how we think a horse would say, Order of the Blazing Horse anyway. So I've been Harry.
And I'm Mickey.